This week, we look at the different security measures Waterloo Regional Police have taken for St. Patrick's Day.
And to respect the neighborhood, to respect the people, and most importantly, look out for each other.
And a young boy with cerebral palsy will inspire us to have a positive attitude towards life.
Devastated. Absolutely devastated. Why was I not having the perfect baby like everybody else?
I don't think I'm any different because I can't walk.
Plus, Conestoga College celebrated its annual Reptile Zoo last week.
Hi, I'm Alex Spears.
And I'm Carmen Ponciano, and this is Spoke TV, your source for local weekly news produced by second-year journalism broadcast students from Conestoga College.
It looks like the city of Waterloo is taking extra precautions this year for St. Patrick's Day, as they are putting an emphasis on safety and encouraging students to attend class. Amanda Hewson looks at how this year will be different.
Waterloo is famous for hosting one of the craziest street parties in Canada for St. Patrick's Day on Ezra Avenue. But this year, the city and surrounding universities are planning to make safety the priority. Staff Sergeant Mike Hafner says extra security measures are being taken this year, including locking the doors of Laurier's academic buildings, extra police presence, and the removal of the beer tent from Ezra Avenue.
We want the people to enjoy themselves. We want students to enjoy themselves. We all did it when we were younger. We always enjoyed ourselves. It's St. Patrick's Day. You wear green, but most importantly this year, and the message this year is to be golden and to respect the neighborhood, to respect the people, and most importantly, look out for each other.
The decision to not organize a public event was unanimous after hearing how residents in the area felt about the large number of students drinking on the street. Andrew Harris, a residence don at Laurier University, says that students are still welcome to have gatherings in their dorm rooms.
But essentially, just as a don, my role during St. Patty's is to protect the residents and make sure all the students are safe.
Students have always flooded Ezra Avenue for St. Patrick's Day celebrations. For the past 2 years, there has been a licensed beer tent. However, this year, both universities, the City of Waterloo, and Regional Police have decided to cancel the licensed beer tent in an effort to deter the students from street partying. But remember, it's not illegal to drink a pint of beer on your front lawn. For Spoke TV, I'm Amanda Hewson.
I had the chance to sit down with the Waterloo Regional Police and a former student from Wilfrid Laurier to discuss the St. Patrick's Day Ezra Street event. Thanks, guys. Joining me today is Staff Sergeant Mike Hafner and Curtis Rideout, and we're going to be talking today about the St. Patrick's Day, how Laurier is cracking down on the partying. So, Curtis, over the last couple of years, you are a former student from Laurier. How do you think it's been getting out of hand over the last couple of years?
Well, I saw all that stuff going down on Ezra last year, and that was definitely out of hand. I would describe it as out of hand for sure. It's a lot of people and crowded, and pouring into the streets probably not a good thing. So. And why do you think Laurier is taking, school over partying this year? Well, I would hope that any institution did that, to be honest with you. I think there should be more focus on school than anything. Right. And in your opinion then, were you at the party last year at all? No, I had a lot of friends that were there. I don't really go to that many parties, to be honest, so. Okay. Since Laurier seems like they're stepping back from, the partying and everything, what does that mean for the police force?
I mean, our most important part about the St. Patrick's Day party is public safety. And through collaboration with the City of Waterloo, bylaw enforcement, Waterloo Fire Department, but most importantly, Wilfrid Laurier University and the Student Union, we're concerned about student safety. We're concerned about that they stay safe and be smart. And ultimately, we want them to enjoy themselves and enjoy the time, enjoy the day, but ultimately we want them to do it safely. So what are some of the ways then that you guys are going to be preparing for that day? That's a great question. We've been preparing for this since last year, as a matter of fact, as we did the previous 5 years. We know that it's happening. We're not here to suppress it, but we're here to manage it and to work with the students that are attending, but more importantly, making sure that they're safe. And that is meeting with the student unions, meeting with the students themselves. Last night we did the door knocker program to connect with the community in the area to advise them that it's going to happen, who to call, and that involved city bylaw, Wilfrid Laurier University, as well as Waterloo Fire Department and us as well.
So do you guys communicate with Laurier then, based
Absolutely. So it's constant communication. It's a great relationship, and we can only applaud the student union for getting the message across that school is important, and we want to ensure that the students are attending their classes, but more importantly, to get that message out that yes, there's going to be a party, we need to manage it and contain it so that no one gets hurt.
And last year there was like 269 offenses that happened last year. Are you guys expecting that to increase this year based on the fact that Laurier is not, putting their hands in it?
I think it's one of the questions where we need to be firm with our enforcement. We also need to be fair. We've all done it, right? And really that's what it comes down to. We've all drank when we were 19 and 20 years old, when we were attending a post-secondary institution. And in this case, we want people to enjoy themselves. But if they get out of hand and they're not responsible, there is a consequence. And that consequence is, in most cases, a provincial offences notice. One of the things that also comes with this in the conversations that we're having with the students is to look out for each other. So as part of the be safe and be responsible and stay safe is we want them to look out for each other so that there's no binge drinking. We don't want people to be passing out in alleys or besides the houses or stuff like that. We want them looked after so that they can go home safely at the end of the day.
So a question for both of you then. Why do you think Laurier is taking this step this year?
Last year was pretty bad. That would be probably my best answer. They're trying to probably combat that culture of drinking and having fun, I guess. I don't know, it's not against having fun, but I guess it would more be just people losing focus and going there for the wrong reasons kind of thing.
Ultimately they're an educational institution, and that's their primary focus. And not that, as I said, I can speak for them, but school's important. People are going there for an education, and ultimately this is just a side issue for them.
So yeah, in your opinion then, have you thought that the partying has been getting out of hand, and this is why I guess Laurier is just not really?
This is it's a City of Waterloo issue, is really what it comes down to. The party happens in the City of Waterloo. I can't agree that it's been getting out of hand. I remember the days when I used to walk down Ezra Street, and there was less people, and it was manageable back then. And I think with the students that are attending now, they're responsible, and they want to have fun, but they just have to do it respectfully.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Last year, about 7,000 students attended Laurier's party, so I guess we'll have to see what happens this year. Back to you guys.
After the break, find out why this crocodile was in the atrium at Conestoga College. Is it nature or nurture? Many could argue that it could be either one. But despite the fact that Ontario has banned pit bulls since 2005, it hasn't made a difference in the number of dog bites. Kyle Royakers has more.
Dog bites caused Ontario to ban pit bulls in 2005 and place restrictions on the existing dogs. Arguments for this decision show statistics where pit bull breeds have the highest bite rates and often do the most damage when they bite. An article posted about 10 years later in the Calgary Herald mentioned that Ontario didn't really see a drop in dog bites after the ban. That opens the floor to those that plead the nurture argument, saying dog training is the most important factor. Helen Prinold, the lead trainer at Dog Friendship in Guelph, says dogs learn habits when young, so it's important to train good behavior and play early on.
So we know that dogs do what works for them. So generally, a dog will work really well for a reward. So we find if we ignore the behavior we don't want and reward what we do want, the dog will do more of it and do less of the behavior we don't want.
Go get the dirty hippie. Some people believe in actively correcting a dog's poor behavior by tugging on the leash or dragging the dog to the ground. But people who practice positive reinforcement training fear that this will make the dog more aggressive.
There is debate over the best ways to train dogs. If you have to hire a dog walker, it's best to make sure there is agreement on how different situations are handled.
I've talked about how punishment makes a dog more likely to bite. So I want a dog walker who's not only insured and bonded, but I think that the important part is knowing if that person is going to be kind to your dog and careful with your dog.
For Spoke TV, I'm Kyle Royakers.
Not many can say that they have pet a crocodile, but students at Conestoga College had the opportunity to not only pet one, but also meet other reptiles. Alice Sieber-Payton has more.
Conestoga College had a few friends come in for a visit on March 9th. Little Ray's Reptile Zoo came to the college to show students their snakes, crocodiles, spiders, and bird. The atrium filled up with students interested in seeing and touching these animals. Students were also able to take pictures with the reptile visitors. Paul Kennedy works at Little Ray's Reptile Zoo. They call him the Reptile Man. He's been doing this for just over 25 years, and he does it for the love of the animals.
It was simply a love of the animal. I have no background, no schooling whatsoever, and I'm self-taught on that aspect of it. And it just kept on going, right? And I would do shows, and people just kept asking me more and more, and then I had to make a business out of it.
When asked what Kennedy was in his past life, he expressed that he was a worm.
I was a worm. Push forward, always never stops, goes through the hardest situation and comes out like making little holes in it, right? So that's me. I'm definitely a worm.
Jamie Nagy, who's training to be an animal patrol officer, tells us why she's excited to see Little Ray's Reptile Zoo here at Conestoga College.
I love reptiles. I own a python myself. And so I wanted to come to the reptile show because I knew I'd fangirl, so.
Spiders, snakes, crocodiles, and birds were all here to be seen at Conestoga College. For Spoke TV, I'm Allie Seaver-Payton.
Elections for Conestoga Students Incorporated Board of Directors kicked off at the end of last month. The annual race to become a part of Conestoga's Board of Directors, which is part of the student association known as Conestoga Students Incorporated, is here once again. Each year, students have the opportunity to elect 7 student representatives that will advocate on their behalf. The participants had until March 11th to hand in their nomination packages along with the 100 signatures from other students, so we will have to wait and see what their reason is for running come Election Day, March 28th to April 1st.
Coming up, we look at the life of one individual who suffers from cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy affects about 34,000 people in Ontario. Spoke TV's Kelly Golden looks at the life of one little boy who won't let his disability get in the way.
All 9-year-old Hayden Veal knows is that he will likely never be able to walk. Hayden was born with a lack of oxygen to his brain, causing him to develop cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy affects bone movements, muscle tone, and motor skills. Hayden's mom, Vicki Veal, explains some of Hayden's symptoms.
Hayden has high tone in his legs, and when he gets excited, he will kick them straight out ahead, so don't stand in front of him. He now is starting to do a clapping and a stimming sound, rocking motions coming with it. He does have a mild intellectual disability as well, so his behaviors are starting to show with that.
8, 9, 10.
No, you're going up. We're supposed to be taking away.
Oh!
He was born at 28 weeks. He came out at 3 pounds 4 ounces. And within the first 2 weeks, he had an ultrasound done of his head, which they have found the bleeding of the brain, which they told him probably is going to have cerebral palsy.
Vicki recalls the day Hayden was born as one of the scariest days of her life.
Devastated. Absolutely devastated. Why was I not having the perfect baby like everybody else?
Hayden's version of the day he was born is a little different from his mom's, and he loves telling the story.
Mom have felt a baby coming from the Lord, which is God. God sent me into Mom's tummy, and we fly. So we called the ambulance. The ambulance took us to the airport. We flied on our way to the hospital. We arrived in Kingston, and Dad waited, and Mom yelled a bit because she knew it was almost time for me to come out, and poof! He came out.
Hayden's aware that he has cerebral palsy, but he's not entirely sure of what the whole concept means. It will take a few more years before Hayden is able to completely understand.
It's what people have, which make them can't walk very goodly. So that's why I'm in a wheelchair. And yeah, I dream about walking.
Hayden's mom, much like Hayden, has a positive outlook on life, but at times it can be extremely difficult, causing her to feel burnt out. No matter how much hope Vicky has that one day her son will be able to walk on his own, she's beginning to realize just how Hayden's life may pan out.
You know what, I honestly don't think he will anymore.
No.
I'm slowly accepting it that they say when the child usually is between 8 and 10, they'll decide if they're going to be wheelchair bound or if they're just going to, that's when they're going to walk, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be wheelchair bound.
My family stands by me when whether I can walk or not.
Okay, tell me about your wheelchair.
It has wheels on it.
Regardless of whether Hayden can walk or not, he doesn't let his disability disable him from doing a thing.
Okay, there's wheels on it. You don't need to show that to the rest of your friends.
He's there for you when you need a laugh or when you just need somebody to talk to. He'll listen.
I don't think I'm any different because I can't walk. I have cerebral palsy, but I'm not any different from you. Goodbye. See you next time.
This week, personal trainer Josh Bauer taught me how to do a lunge. Also, I show you how to make gluten-free pizza muffins.
Welcome to Spoke Talks Health and Fitness with personal trainer Josh Bauer. This week, Alex Spears learned how to perform a properly formatted lunge, and he teaches you how to make an easy, gluten-free meal for only $10.
Hi, my name is Alex. Today I'm here with personal trainer Josh Bauer, and he's going to show me how to do a lunge. So Josh, how are we going to go about this today?
Alright, so what we're going to do is you're just going to put whatever foot you feel most comfortable with forward, dropping that back leg back about 1.5 feet, hands on your hips, squeezing your core, and then you're just going to put your knee just slightly bending so it doesn't go over your toes. Exhale when you come up. That's a perfect one right there.
Awesome, thanks, that was great. What are some of the benefits of a lunge?
The benefits are that it really helps activate your glutes and your quads, and it's a very ideal exercise for everyday movement, especially when you have to pick up anything off the ground, whether it be groceries like salt bags. It is wintertime, so it's a very ideal exercise.
Hi, today I will be showing you how to make gluten-free pizza muffins. For this recipe, we used a gluten-free pizza dough of your choice, pizza sauce, mozzarella cheese, sliced pepperoni, or for a healthier option, you could use some shredded turkey. First, preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. While that's warming up, line and spray a cupcake tray, filling each cup with dough about halfway full. Then, layer mozzarella cheese. Drizzle your sauce and add another layer of cheese. After that, add your pepperoni or turkey, and when the oven is ready, pop it in. Let it cook for 10 to 12 minutes or until the cheese is slightly browned. Cut open and enjoy. Mmm.
Up next, the traditional style of listening to music makes a comeback. Game developing has become a huge industry, especially in the Tri-Cities. Peter Scott went to the University of Waterloo to check out some of the games that were developed and why.
A recent event explored how we react to games and how they affect us. The Games Institute, along with the University of Waterloo International Game Development Association and the UW Game Development Club, held a showcase at the University of Waterloo. PhD candidate Diane Watson explains what the event is.
So tonight we are showing off games of all types. We're showing off games that people have made at like game jam events where you make a game in a weekend. We're showing off games that people have made for research. We're showing off games that people have made for public outreach. And we're showing off games research as well at the same time.
Some games were one player, with objectives varying from defeating evil ice dragons to adding numbers and even helping medical students check heartbeats. But some, like Beam Me Round Scotty, require two people to work together to complete the task. The showcase was designed for game creators to test their newly developed games, as well as for researchers to acquire data. This event was open to all members of the public, with games being used for research as well. Some games that you can play here are available on the App Store and Google Play. Mike Brown, the developer for Quantum Cats, created the game to help introduce the concepts of quantum physics to kids.
So Quantum Cats is a game that we made in cooperation with the Institute for Quantum Computing here on campus. And basically it's a simple game for kids that introduces them to quantum physics.
Started in 2011, the Games Institute was created as a formal research center to push the study and research of games to greater heights. For Spoke TV, I'm Peter Scott.
They practice as much as any athlete and compete just as hard. However, this is not your traditional way of playing sports. Electronic sports, also known as esports, is becoming a huge market in North America. Matt Bentley takes a look at how esports have developed here at home.
What was that?
When you think of sports, you don't normally think of video games. However, the aspect of competitive gaming has grown tremendously in viewership.
While esports has primarily been popular in Asia, the North American and European scenes have gained a lot of popularity over the past couple of years.
According to online statistics in 2015, the market for esports in Asia is about $374 million. In North America, that revenue was $143 million, with $111 million coming from corporate sponsorships. Joe Wepler, a freelance esports writer, describes just what it takes to compete at a high level.
They practice for 14 hours a day. They're constantly practicing. They do things like boot camping, which is they'll go to places like Korea where it's more widely accepted, and they'll just play hard for a month at a time. And so it's just a lot of practice and a lot of discussion and a lot of planning.
Video game dens and tournaments are cropping up all over the region. Brody Moore, who works at a local game shop and organizes esports tournaments, describes the growth of this community.
I'm just super excited that this is a thing, that esports is growing. I mean, 2016 to 2018, we're going to see an absolutely massive growth in esports. Forbes predicting, I think, upwards of $2 billion in revenue for esports around the world, and then by 2020, just even, exponential to go up from that. So I'm excited that my hobby and my passion and many others is becoming a thing that we can live off of now.
For Spoke TV, I'm Matt Bentley.
Vinyl records have become a lot more popular amongst music fans as sales have been soaring over the past couple of years. Matt Howell visited a record show in Guelph to find out how vinyls have become a big thing.
I'm at Ray's record show at the Legion in Guelph. I'm going to talk to some attendees and vendors and find out what keeps vinyl so relevant.
Vinyl sales in Canada and the US were up 71% in 2014 from the previous year. With new artists releasing their albums on vinyl, such as Taylor Swift and The Weeknd, a whole new generation of music fans are getting to experience the warm sound that vinyl is said to offer. Mark DeMerling, event organizer and vendor, says that listening to vinyl is about the experience as well as the music.
And once you get a nice retro turntable, you set it up and you enjoy it. And it's an activity in itself, right? You get together, you have a few beers, and you listen to some tunes. And people just enjoy that. Now, do I think that right now it's exploding, right? It's just exploding, and I think that has a lot to do with young people like yourself. You want to get in. You want to get in, you want to enjoy the activity.
Fans of vinyl have more options for places to get their favorite artists, as establishments, such as Royal Cat Records, are increasing the amount of albums that they sell. Amber Stevens, an employee at the shop, gives her opinions on why vinyl has come back so strongly.
I feel like it's because there's a whole generation of younger people who've grown up, with computers, with MP3s, and they don't have anything tactile. They don't have that CD or that vinyl to hold on to. They don't have the posters or the artwork. So they're kind of rediscovering that in a way. So there's a lot of young people getting into vinyl.
For Spoke TV, I'm Matt Howell.
Thanks, Matt. That was great. So, Carmen, do you have any records?
No, I don't, but I should go really check that out.
I was thinking the same thing. That's all we have for you this week. For Spoke TV from Conestoga College, I'm Alex Spears.
And I'm Carmen Ponciano. For more news and information, visit spoketv.ca.
So what kind of records are you thinking about buying?